dedicated to you, the residents and businesses of Garden City, as well as the surrounding communities. Remember, we're working hard to promote our community and yours. Well, hello everybody, and welcome. Is it? You hear me?
No.
All right, it's Thursday, November 6th. Don't do that to me, man. 2014, you're listening to show number 222. I'm your host, Kerry, and joining me tonight, fresh off being reelected as Wayne County Commissioner, my co-host, Richard LeBlanc. How you doing, Richard?
Greetings, everyone. Glad
Congratulations, sir.
Thank you. Appreciate the support of everyone who contributed to that.
Great showing. We'll talk a little bit about that later. And also with us, our resident weatherman, Dr. Tom Iwinski. Tom, how are you?
I'm doing great. How are you guys doing?
Good. Yeah. Don't hear you too much. You got to speak into the phone a little better, though.
Oh, yeah, just like you in the beginning.
There you go. All right. Also want to congratulate our good friend to the show, State Representative and State Senator-elect David Knisik. Woohoo. Woohoo. Good showing. All right. Welcome, everyone, in the chat room, and to those who are watching us on YouTube. And if you're downloading the show for later or listening, we appreciate your support. And tonight we have another great show for you. Join us in just a few minutes will be Donna Fournier. Donna. Yeah, I did have Diane. She's the director of training for Stiggy's dogs. What they do is amazing, and you don't want to miss that. We'll also talk about the recent election, and Richard will also have an update on the retail fraud task force that he's been appointed to, so we'll see what's up with them. We also have some community announcements. Tom has a chilly forecast, I'm afraid, and Joy and Holly will be here with some winter gardening tips for you. But first, if you would like to be a part of the conversation tonight, all you have to do is call 1-724-444-7444. Enter the call ID 82757, followed by the pound sign. Now, some of you may have to call in a little more than once due to the heavy traffic, and we do apologize in advance. Keep trying, and we hope to talk with you soon. If you prefer, you can text your comments or questions to 734-788-9319. And then, as always, join us in our chat room by going to talkshoe.com/TC/82757. Now, that's going to take you right to our main show page. Once you're there, just click on the large Join In button and sign in as a guest, and you are good to go. Type your questions or comments at the bottom of the page, and our phone number and show ID is there as well. All right, all our shows are recorded live, so you can listen to all 222 on our show page at your convenience whenever and wherever you want. We are also in iTunes. Just search for GC Community Chat. And don't forget, we are doing a live video recording of the tonight's show, so you can put a face with the voice, and that video will be available later on our YouTube channel at youtube.com/communitychatshow. That's a lot. All right, Mayor Walker has asked me to mention that you are all invited to the Veterans Day observance ceremony on Tuesday, November 11th at 11 a.m. at Garden City High School's O'Leary Auditorium. That's located at 6500 Middle Belt Road. If you have never been to this event, you don't know what you're missing. It's a great show. The guest speaker will be Stephen Miller from the United States Navy, and for the first time ever, a special video on the 200th anniversary of the Star-Spangled Banner. And I did see that video, and let's just say you'll really appreciate that song even more after seeing this video. So we hope you can be there, and we'll see you there. All right, let's get the latest weather with Tom, and then we'll get to Holly and Joey. Okay, let's do a check on weather with Doppler Tom. Let's see what he has in store for the rest of this week and the weekend coming up. Tom, take it away. Hey, Tom, how you doing? Going to get cold, I think.
Doing great. It's definitely getting there. It's a really damp day out there, and it's continuing as we got into the evening hours. But I do see a light at the end of the tunnel. The front is starting to move through the region, and it is getting a little bit blustery out there as that front's moving through. But the good news is that it's dragging the rain out of here, and it's going to get a little cold tonight. We're probably going to get to the low 30s for overnight temperatures, and the clouds will keep breaking up out there. Tomorrow, we won't see a whole lot of sunshine. We'll probably see more clouds and and it's definitely going to be colder out there, low 40s for high temperatures. And then as we get into the weekend, I definitely think it's going to be, again, a chilly weekend out there. Saturday we'll probably see some on and off rain moving through with temperatures in the upper 40s. And then as we get to Sunday, we'll probably be fire out there. And probably be in the mid 40s. So definitely a chilly weekend out there. So make sure you bring the jackets out there. But that's just the appetite. As we get into next week, I think a very large weather pattern shift that is developing, and it's not very good if you don't like the temperatures. It's definitely going to get much colder next week, and the pattern looks like it's going to stick around all week. As we get into Monday, this is when it starts to begin, when we get a storm system moving toward the Great Lakes. This storm system, it's a little too early to know what it's going to bring, but it'll probably bring rain and snow with the system. Depending on the track and the strength of the storm, we don't know where it's going to exactly be at this point, but it could bring accumulating snow to the area. And those temperatures, again, will start dropping behind the storm system. So on Monday and Tuesday, I think temperatures will probably be in the 40s for highs and 30s below. But then behind this very strong front, especially as it starts on to Wednesday, temperatures will be very cold. We probably won't get out of the 30s for high temperatures as we get into Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, into next week. Next weekend, we'll struggle to hit the freezing mark for high temperatures. Jesus. So it's definitely going to get much, much colder as you get. So it's definitely a good idea to get the heavy jacket out of the closet. So I know people don't like to hear this, but eventually you knew it was going to be coming. And it's definitely going to be knocking on the door as we get into mid to late next week. And that's bringing me into my next story. I'm going to talk about, again, winter. Last winter was completely unbearable. It was the worst winter we ever had in southeast Michigan. And I'm thinking that we'll probably see a less severe winter. I'm not expecting it to be as bad as we had last year, but I definitely think it will probably be still as cold as it was last year because El Nino isn't really developing, which is basically a weather occurrence that we have to look at as we look into the whole weather pattern system. So, yeah, I don't really see that developing. That's going to have a very big impact on our weather here in Michigan. So I definitely think it's going to be colder than normal all across the area from December, January, and February. But as we get into a colder pattern, I don't think it's going to be as snowy as it was last year. Sure, it's Michigan. We'll see the snow. It'll probably be a normal season for snow as we get very strong Alberta clippers coming from Canada throughout Michigan with those very strong northwest flow, and that will also bring lake effect snow. So you'll definitely see a cold and snowy winter out there, but not as severe as last year, in my opinion. So we'll see what it brings out. And we're triggering this very cold weather next week is a typhoon that's occurring in the Western Pacific. It's weakening and becoming extratropical as it heads toward the Alaskan Aleutian Islands. It's going to be a very strong system out there, and that's what's going to bring it. I just wanted to briefly mention that. The Alaskan Islands are going to be dealing with such a strong storm, a lot of hurricane-force winds, waves up to 50 feet. It's going to bring some warmer air to Alaska, which is very rare for them. That's why we're going to see such a cold trough across our area because of just the roller coaster jet stream. So I just wanted to briefly mention that, and that's going to affect much of the country all across the eastern United States as we get into next week. So if you want to keep tuned to this weather, just go to my website, DopplerTomsWeather.com.
All right. Thanks for all that great news, huh, Richard?
Yeah, sure. Yeah, okay.
Your kind of weather.
Right.
Yeah.
Spring is right around the corner, only 6 months from now.
That's right. Pitchers and catchers, when do they report, Mike?
About February 1st.
Okay, let's move on here. All right, now we got the weather report. Gardening season is winding down, so let's get Joy and Holly in here for their 2-minute gardener report.
This is Gardening in 2 Minutes. Herbs can be grown year-round outdoors during the warm portions and indoors during the far too cold temperatures outdoors. They can be done successfully and it's very cost effective.
Herbs are nice to use in your kitchen for cooking. You can dry them, and then you can use them in many recipes throughout the winter. When you grow the herbs, you want to have them growing in a south-facing window preferably, or a 3-season porch, so they get proper sunlight and growth. Also, when you grow them, you want to make sure you put them in a container that is the correct size for where you're putting them, and you want to make sure when you plant them in the container, you plant them according to the package directions, so that you're not spacing them too close together, so they have room to grow. The good thing about growing herbs also is that they grow very quickly, or fairly quickly, so you'll be harvesting and using them before you know it.
Herbs are a warm weather crop, so you want to put them near or in an area where warmth is available. Now, in the fall and winter, where do you get your seeds and soil from? We have 2 trusted, reliable sources. DollarSeed.com is where we purchase our herb seeds and all our vegetable seeds from for $1 a pack, as well as our soil comes from SuCompost.com. That's HSU Compost.com, where we can combine both of them, the seeds and the soil, and have very healthy and nutrient-dense herbs for all winter long, as well as all summer long in our indoor and outdoor gardening.
Or if you're a new gardener trying to get into gardening, herbs can be a successful plant that you can grow to kind of get your feet wet.
For more information and the links that were provided in this segment, our weekly video productions, as well as our free downloadable digital quarterly magazines, you can find all of that information at
theWisconsinVegetableGardener.com.
For the health-conscious organic gardener worldwide. For Gardening in 2 Minutes, I'm Joy Baird.
And I'm Holly Baird.
All right. Thank you, Joy and Holly. Appreciate that. All right, let's get right to our guest tonight. Like I said earlier, she is the Director of Training for Stiggy's Dogs. Welcome to the show, Donna Fournier. Hello, welcome.
Hello, thank you for having me.
Absolutely. So that's correct. You're the Director of Training.
Correct.
All right. That has to do with training the dogs, right?
Yes, yes, and the people.
Okay.
And the people.
Well, why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself, and then we'll get into what Stiggy's Dogs exactly is all about.
Oh, goodness. I've been in the animal industry since I was 14 years old. I am now 40, so I'm a long-standing resident in the animal industry. I started as a kennel tech, worked my way through various vet clinics. Eventually, in '99, became a dog trainer, and that's really when I have to say my life changed. I realized that my skills could be used to help people in many different ways, not just help keep dogs in their forever homes, but I was able to make the jump from basic obedience training into the world of service dog training, which is what led me to Stiggy's Dogs.
Awesome.
So, yes, it's been a wonderful, wonderful animal career, I have to say.
Now, are you local? You're local, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, I actually grew up here in Garden City.
Oh, awesome.
I'm a 1992 graduate.
So you're in the hood.
Yes.
We
Yes,
like that.
I was.
We like that.
Yes, I'm homegrown.
So let's talk about Stiggy's a little bit. How did they come about? How did they get the name?
Yes,
Tell us a little bit.
Our founder, Jennifer Petrie, she started this with her background being in humane societies. She saw a lot of dogs, really good dogs, come through, and unfortunately not enough homes for those good dogs. At the same time that she was working in the Humane Society, her nephew, Benjamin Castiglione, was serving in the Navy as a corpsman. In 2009, September 3rd, in Helmand Province, he was killed in action. As a way, he was 21.
Wow.
Very, very sad. And as a way to keep his legacy going and really show the world what kind of young man Ben was, Jennifer really kind of started this because of that. She wanted a way to carry on Ben's legacy of taking care of his Marines. And our very first dog was placed in 2010, and it went to somebody who actually did serve with Ben in the Marine Corps.
Now, his name was actually Doc Stiggy?
Yes.
Okay,
Yeah,
so that's where the Stiggy
yes,
comes from.
Marines are very good at shortening things.
Yeah.
So Castiglione, when they would see that name, they would go, oh my goodness, I don't know how to pronounce that. So
Okay.
they shortened it down to Stiggy.
Okay.
And so he was commonly referred to as Doc Stiggy. So that's where Stiggy's Dogs came from.
So what you do is you rescue dogs, you take
Yes.
dogs and you rescue them,
Yep.
and then you train them to become...
Yeah, how our program works, it's very unique. We're one of maybe 3 that are doing it in the entire country this way. Whether a veteran is in need of a dog or already has a dog, we will help them train that dog to be their psychiatric service dog. When we work with shelters, we've taken them from Westline Humane Society, Livingston County Animal Control, Livingston County Humane Society, Oakland County Humane Society,
Wow.
Lansing Capital Area Humane Society, as well as some places on the other side of the state, as well as some private dogs that have come from the community.
That is awesome.
So we're taking these dogs that are otherwise abandoned, and there's 5 million a year that end up in shelters. Yes.
Wow.
So this is part of the way our tagline is rescuing one to rescue another. So we start with rescuing the dog. We take that dog and we place them immediately with their veteran. Now, I always say it's like an arranged marriage.
Yeah.
We've interviewed the veteran to see what their needs are, what their lifestyle is, the different things. And then we go out and we find a dog with a similar personality. The dog has to be evaluated for temperament to make sure that there's no history of bite or anything. 'Cause
Right.
this is a dog working in public. He has
Right.
to have good manners.
Right.
So they go through a behavior evaluation, and then we assess their intelligence. How capable is this dog at doing potentially what we need it
Is
to
there an
do?
age limit? I mean, do you look
Yes.
primarily for a young dog, or?
Anywhere between the ages of 1 to 4.
Okay.
Actually, my favorite age to work with is a 3-year-old.
Oh, okay.
Because they're past all of the adolescent.
Yeah, right.
You have a dog, so you know.
Yeah,
You
and all
know.
our dogs have been rescue dogs, and I
Yes.
mean huge huge animal lovers here at this
Yes.
table, and
there's-
they really do. They know the dogs know that they're being rescued.
They do.
and they're so
seem-
appreciative.
Yes, they do. They seem almost more grateful. Having worked with both dogs that we've pulled from shelters and dogs that have been trained from puppyhood, we see the ability to work or the desire to work, it seems almost a little bit greater in the dogs that are coming out of the rescue situation. They understand this is different. They weren't just handed this life. They had
Yeah.
to earn this life.
Right.
And they're living every dog's dream. They get to be everywhere with their person all the time. That's every dog's dream.
Now, from beginning to end, how long does it take to train a dog and have that dog ready?
Roughly start to finish about 6 months per team.
Really?
Yes.
Oh, that's not bad.
Yes.
Wow, I thought it'd be
that's
longer
that's
than
also
that.
why we work with the older dogs. Younger dogs,
Okay.
a dog under a year of age cannot test for Canine Good Citizen.
Mm-hmm.
They cannot test for the public access test. They have to be a year of age before they can have their temperament evaluation.
Okay.
So a year is minimum, and obviously the older dogs are more settled, so we're not dealing with some puppy
Kind of like us
energy.
three.
Right,
Yeah, the
right.
older dogs.
And anybody who says older dogs
We
can't
prefer
work.
veterans.
There you go. There you go. Yes, so the older dogs, they're past that adolescent stage. They're past that puppy stage. So,
Yeah, the puppy stage,
Yes,
yeah.
so the training seems to work a little bit faster. And we start the bonding process from the minute that veteran takes the dog home. So that we set them up with fun games to play like hide and seek. They actually play hide and seek with their dog.
So how many dogs, I mean, say in a year, how many dogs would you train or rescue?
Well, started when we started in 2010. Our first year, we only produced 4 dog teams.
okay.
Yes, and we changed our program a little bit to make it possible to train more. And we brought
Is
on
that because you didn't have the trainers, or?
Well, that's a part of it. It was just me and
I mean, the
founder.
dogs were available.
Yes, the dogs are available, but there was just myself and our founder doing this for the
Okay.
first 2 years.
Oh,
It was
okay.
really just us two.
How long has Stiggy been around?
Since 2010, 4 years.
Oh, wow.
Yes.
So you've done a lot in 4
Yeah.
years.
So yes, we have. We went from 4 dogs our first year
Mm-hmm.
to we started the year out with 11 teams in training, and I just took in 6 more teams in training now.
Wow.
So this is our biggest year this year, and we have added a second trainer.
That's awesome.
And so we're able to do more, and it's because of community outreach and because people are aware of who we are, and that's really made the difference.
Right.
Yes.
Getting the word out there.
Yes, absolutely.
So, Richard, what do you got? Do you got any questions?
Yeah, well, I know that you started out probably self-financed,
Yes.
self-funded.
Yes.
How is that different than today?
Well, now we've been able. We were very fortunate to.
You're a 501, right?
Yes, we are. We are a 501. We do have our nonprofit status. We started out in 2012. We were very fortunate to get into the Home Depot Foundation, and they ran a promotional thing on Facebook, a competition that people could vote for the different organizations, and then we won a $5,000 grant. That $5,000 grant went to building different training supplies that we needed because we do use agility equipment to train our dogs to different surfaces. Then we got entered from that grant. We got entered into an overall year worth of voting, where we were up against 11 other groups, nonprofit veterans organizations, and we came in third in the country, and we won $100,000.
Wow.
So that $100,000
That
has
comes
gone
in handy.
to, yes, it does. We now have a training center in Brighton. When we started, we were literally doing this out of our home.
Right.
We were actually, for the first 6 months after we had started, we were renting space in a warehouse in Livonia and taking turns living in that warehouse with the dogs.
Wow. Because you have to
Not
board,
known to the city, of course.
and,
No.
and you have to board these dogs in that. I mean,
We
feed
did.
them, board them,
Yes.
so that gets expensive.
Yes, in the beginning, that was our original
Vet,
program.
what about vet? You have vet
Vetting
on
visits,
staff?
yes. Well, not on staff,
Or-
but I have a personal friend who is a
Donate.
veterinarian here in Garden City,
Oh,
Garden
okay.
City VCA.
Oh, okay, cool.
Dr. Brad Davis. So
All right.
any Garden City resident, please go see him. He is awesome. He takes care of our dogs when they're in training.
Good.
Provides any health care that we need or anything like that. So yeah, we've.
So
been-
you depend really a lot just on donations
Yes.
and
Yes.
fundraisers. And
Yes, we do have, we just did one big fundraiser, which we hope to make annual now, called the Pack Palooza, where we invited our fans to bring their dogs out and actually spend a day with us and our teams, where it was held in a park in South Lyon, and
Wow.
we had a bunch of people come out. We had a kids carnival so the kids could play, and then we had the dog carnival,
Awesome.
where all the dogs come and get on the agility equipment. So that'll be coming again next year. We're going to make that annual. Coming up right now.
Cheryl was there. my wife.
She was there?
Yeah.
Yes,
Oh, okay.
wonderful.
Yeah, she was there with
Yeah, 'cause
her
she's a big
sister,
animal
an
lover.
aunt, and another friend that lives more toward Lansing.
wow.
Wonderful, wonderful.
Awesome.
Yes, it was a very popular day. Everybody loved the.
So how would we
dog
find out
agility.
about these events? Do you have a newsletter or something that
We
people
do.
can?
We do have a
Okay,
newsletter. You can sign up for our newsletter through our website,
Yeah.
styggiesdogs.org.
Your website's awesome, by the way.
Thank you.
Styggiesdogs.org.
.org, yes.
Yeah.
You sign up for the Troop Tales. That's what our newsletter is called. It's
Okay.
a quarterly newsletter, and that'll tell you upcoming events. We do have some fundraisers coming up tomorrow, as a matter of fact, at Somerset Mall. We have the Operation Fashionista.
Oh, yeah,
So you
that's
can
the
come
one.
out and see. Yes, and our male trainer is being sent to that one. Thanks, Matt.
He's not a gardener, is he?
No.
All right, just checking.
So he'll be out there, and one of our dog and handler teams will be out there as well. So people can come out and actually meet some of our teams.
It's awesome.
Yes.
Yeah, the website is really, really good. I mean, you can go and donate, make your donations there.
Yes, and we take in-kind donations. Like right now, we have a group called Wrapped in Love, who is a group of knitters and crocheters who are making us blankets for our dogs right now. So toys, dog toys, any kind of dog toys. If you have an old dog crate, but you don't have a dog anymore, we will take that dog crate. We supply all of the training materials to our veterans. They do not pay for our program at all.
So the dog is free of charge.
Dog is free of
And
charge.
that dog is with him for life.
For life.
Wow.
Absolutely. And by the time these dogs are done in with their training, they're worth about $30,000.
Wow.
And that veteran got all of that for free.
That's more than us 3 old dogs.
yeah, I would say so. Well, I don't know. I'm priceless.
Your wife's shaking her head.
About $5.27.
Yeah, it's been a labor of love. This has been. We absolutely believe in what we're doing, and we have seen. It's one thing for me to say the difference that we make, but when you get out there and actually meet our teams and talk with our veterans and see every single one of our guys has said, "This dog has saved my life."
Wow.
So that can't be. You can't put a price tag on that.
We actually met one at Post 396 in Garden City.
Yes.
I don't know. I can't remember who
Little
it was.
black dog.
No, I think it was brown.
Oh,
I believe it was brown.
Rusty, perhaps?
Yeah, maybe Rusty. Yeah.
Yes, with the nice, pretty black eyeliner around
Yeah, I
his
think so.
eyes. Yes,
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
Brian and Rusty.
Yeah, and I mean, it's just, boy, they are bonded. I mean,
Yes.
it's just forever, right?
Oh, yes.
You can tell.
Yes, it is an amazing thing. What these dogs do, we always say our dogs have the hardest job of all the service dogs. Leader dog for the blind, they've been around the longest, and if it weren't for groups like them, we wouldn't be able to do what we do today. But their dogs are taught the same thing over and over again. Don't walk somebody into traffic. Look out for that stop sign. Don't walk them into the car. And that's really that's a hard job, but that is the extent of their job. Our dogs are doing that for some of our TBI guys, maybe bringing them medication. Our dogs are also reminding them to take their medication at certain times. Dogs have a great sense of time. Our dogs are waking them from night terrors and in some cases turning on the lights as part of that wake-up process.
Wow.
They are taking them
incredible.
out of a panic situation by reading and looking for an exit sign and safely getting their veteran to the exit sign. We say, take me home, and the dog knows, I got to get to the car or the house, whichever is closer to me. And the dog will just beeline for that. When we teach them, get me out of here, they look up for the exit, and off they go.
And really, one of the main things is the calming effect. They
Yes.
calm them.
Yes,
They keep the veteran
10
calm.
minutes of petting a dog will release dopamine. And
It's true for anyone.
For anybody.
I mean, they're using them in nursing homes and
Yes.
hospitals now.
Yes, and once you trigger that dopamine, that combats the cortisol. I know I'm getting a little scientific here, but this
Okay.
is one of the things that I explain to my
Richard, you
veterans as
keeping
I'm
up?
doing it.
Trying. I'm an old dog. Remember that.
Yeah, you're an old.
But you can learn new tricks.
Yes. Good. That's
Take
good.
it
I
from
like
a trainer.
We can identify with
I-
dopamine.
That is so good.
Yeah, but the dopamine actually combats the stress hormone cortisol. So we instruct all of our guys, when their dog starts pestering them, it's because they're sensing something, and the dog is talking to them at that moment saying, hey, you need to focus on me for a minute because I'm going to help you get to that stress-relieving hormone. So we teach our dogs to do what we call emotional training. It's not just enough to sit in a room, and I'm sure you've seen it as a dog owner. If you're sad, your dog reacts to that sadness.
Yeah, it's true. Or you're sick.
Right, and they're right there with you.
Yeah.
And if you're mad, what do? Head for the hills.
Yes, they do. They scatter.
Our dogs are trained to interact with that.
Wow.
PTSD, anger is a big portion of PTSD. So what our dogs are taught to do is meet that with something that we call incompatible behavior. You can't be mad if you're laughing at your dog doing something silly. So we teach our dogs to engage an anger emotion with a toy or play response. So the dogs are actually taught to engage something that they naturally would run away from. So,
Wow.
yes. It's a work in progress. That's why we
Dogs
say
are awesome.
They are amazing. They are absolutely amazing.
I love 'em.
We've not given them enough credit for what they really can
That's
do.
true. That's true. So, how many dogs would you say you have out there in the field now?
Right now we
do
have
you know?
47.
47. Wow.
In 4 years, yes.
That's amazing.
It is. We are very proud
In
of
6
that.
months. That's what's really amazing, that you can do all that in
Well,
6 months.
we rely on the veteran to do a portion of this in homework.
Okay.
So
Yeah, because they have to learn
They come
too,
to
yeah.
class, absolutely. And what we found, too, is by making the veteran a part of the program, they're able to take those little milestones with their dog.
Mm-hmm.
Each dog has to pass 3 different tests before they're considered truly a service dog. And in the beginning, we did those tests and then brought the veteran in and then introduced the 2 and then trained the veteran to what the dog knew, and then off they went.
Mm-hmm.
What we found worked better was when we brought the veteran in from the beginning and let them be the ones that took their dog through these tests. It gives them such a great sense of pride to
Yeah.
know that to say, I put my dog through this test and he passed it, and it's because we did this together.
Now, any cost on this? I mean,
Not for our veterans, no.
no cost.
No cost.
But what would you say that dog was worth again?
About $30,000 when it's done.
30,000. Wow.
Yes.
In lifetime.
Lifetime. And one of the things, it's unfortunately it's something we do have to plan for, but we do have to plan for the end of the dog's days or
Right,
the retirement
yeah.
of that dog. We have had 2 dogs retire since we've started. One suddenly seizures, so he was medically retired. And when that happens, we immediately will bring that veteran back in and get them another dog and immediately start that process again.
Wow.
Because it is, you become so reliant on that other part of you.
Yeah.
And they're your secret keepers.
And they get attached. I mean, it's probably pretty heartbreaking for them too, right?
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. But that's your secret keeper. You can say anything to a dog. This is one of the things that I've always said to my guys.
That's true.
A dog is a true example of how a dog is more loving and more compassionate than a human. Take your wife and put her in the trunk and put your dog in the other trunk. Who's going to be happy when you unlock that door? The dog or the wife?
Right. Yeah.
The dog.
You better believe it. You better believe it.
No,
Oh, that
poor
tail
dog.
keeps wagging.
Right. And they're going to
That's
go, oh, you
emotion, I will
came
support.
back. Yes. Unconditional love.
Yeah.
True unconditional love is what we get from these dogs. And nothing can replace that when you're struggling with PTSD.
Now, how does a veteran go about applying for a dog?
We do have an application process. The first thing they have to do is pass a pre-qualification survey that they can take through our website. It's www.stiggy'sdogs.org/apply. That is our pre-qualification to see, do you meet our minimum standards? You have to be a veteran. You have to be honorably discharged. You cannot have a criminal history of animal neglect or abuse.
Right.
We will not accept you in our program with that because we're putting a dog in your home.
Yeah, exactly. Right.
And your diagnosis has to be in relation to your service. So it has to have occurred during your actual service. Once you pass those, and you have to live within the Michigan state, anywhere in Michigan. So once you pass those pre-qualifications, you're then put, unfortunately, yes, we have a waiting list. The need is so great. It takes 6 months per team.
How far behind would you say the list is?
Right now, we're at 2 years.
Wow.
Which is a lot better than it was.
Really?
When we were doing our old program, we were at a 5-year waiting list. We've been able to expedite that quite a bit.
So you really cut it down.
Yes.
And you send them out to anywhere in Michigan?
Yes.
Any veteran?
Any veteran in Michigan.
Wow.
Yes. Yes, we have some veterans that participate in our program that are coming from Grand Haven, that are coming from Holland area, Cadillac, Midland. We have them all over.
So wherever
Saginaw,
the need is.
Wherever the need is, that's where we are.
What do you got? Anything you want to say? Comment?
You know, their dogs are obviously better trained than my 2 grand dogs.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, that's, we have a little higher standards than just the pet. Yeah. It's not enough to be cute in our world. You have to be useful too.
So what other events you have coming up?
Right now, well, Veterans Day is coming, and that's a very big day. We do have PBS is going to be airing a special.
Right.
Kids out of Pinckney Elementary School did a bunch of projects to honor veterans on Veterans Day, so that will be airing on PBS next week. We have Operation Fashionista tomorrow. And Oakland University will also be doing a talk at Oakland University on Veterans Day as well.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
Cool.
So if you're in the area, you'll see us and our dogs somewhere.
So Richard, pretty impressive, eh?
Very impressive. I'm curious, and you may have already mentioned it, and it got past me. How many people do this within your organization?
With how many train the dogs?
Yeah, I mean,
There's just
how
2.
big is your staff?
Oh goodness. Well,
Staff of 2?
the first, pretty much. You have our director still does not get paid. She does not get paid. When I say this is a labor of love, I mean that. This really is a labor of love.
Wow.
She does not get paid. We have a couple of part-time. We call them part-time, but they work full-time employees. Myself and one other trainer. So there's just about a handful of us. We try to keep our costs as low as possible because this is really for the veterans.
And where do you work out of? Howell, is it? Or?
Well, our headquarters are in Howell, and our training center is in Brighton. It's our temporary center.
Okay,
We're
Brighton.
hoping to get a bigger one.
Okay. So at any one given time, how many dogs do you have at one time that you're training? I mean.
Well, because the dogs go home with the veteran immediately, they come back to class. So
okay.
Right now I have 7 in current training.
Oh,
right
wow.
now. Yes.
7. Okay.
Yes.
Gotcha.
Yes. And they're all at different levels. I have some that are still working on basic obedience. They haven't taken their canine good citizen
Like
yet.
you.
Yeah.
Yep. And we still have some in the task learning phase where they haven't learned enough tasks to be allowed in public yet. I like them to know at least 3 useful tasks to the veteran before we try to put them in that scenario.
Yeah.
The dog needs to know what to do before he gets out in public.
Right. Yeah, exactly.
And then we also take them, each of our teams, we don't just say, okay, your dog knows its tasks, off you go. They're part of our family.
So pretty successful, though, huh, you would say?
Yeah.
The vets are doing well, I mean,
yes,
with their dogs.
It has been amazing. Probably the biggest thing that I see difference-wise with our veterans is their confidence level. When they come to us, and we take pictures and video of every training situation that we do so that we document, and then we give them a picture, a CD at the end of their training to show them everything that they did. And when they first came in, they're kind of hunched over and their head's low.
Withdrawn,
and they're, right.
Yeah.
By the time they get into week 3, they're walking upright, their shoulders
Isn't that incredible?
It's amazing to see the difference. And each little milestone they get to take their dog through, their confidence goes just that much further.
Wow.
It's an incredible thing to watch.
Yeah,
To
that
say I
is.
love my job is putting it mildly.
Well, like I gave you Troy's name and phone
Yes.
number, and if you contact him, I mean, this guy is really
Excellent.
all in, man. I mean, that guy wants to
We've had great. I have to say, Michigan. We have probably one of the better VAs. Actually 3 really good VAs here in Michigan. Ann Arbor VA is in the top 5. Battle Creek is in the top 5, and John Dingle. These are excellent places, and each time we have veterans that go to all of these different VAs, and they have been the most welcoming of and accepting of the use of these dogs. So
Awesome.
Not everybody feels that way. The VA is still, in general.
Oh, yeah,
They're
yeah,
still working
right,
on their
yeah.
3-year study.
Yeah, they still have a long way to go.
They do.
But
Absolutely.
it's nice to hear that ours is doing
They're more
good.
proactive. Yes.
Yeah, that's good.
Yes.
You need to be proactive for sure, right, Richard?
Yes.
That's right, sir. I'm also glad that you're working with Senator Kneecaps.
Yeah. Is that what you call them?
That's his Marine name, Kneecaps.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
Senator Kneecaps
Yes,
on
yes.
issues
Yeah, he's a good
involving
guy.
service
Yes,
dogs.
we've
So,
been working with David Kniezek on trying to safeguard our veterans and their dogs when they're out a little bit more, protecting them through the training process, because really they're not supposed to be out without their trainer present during the
Okay.
training phase. So one of the proposals that we had in the House bill that we were working on is to allow the veteran, while they're in training, to take their dog, if they feel comfortable, into public without their trainer and still be allowed to do that.
Okay.
Also, different protections for our veterans, because there had been a couple of situations on the other side of the state where veterans were kicked out of locations with their dogs.
Like restaurants and-
Yes, because people were unaware and uneducated about the ADA.
Now, is that a law in Michigan? They are,
a federal law?
okay, so they
Americans
are
with
allowed.
Disabilities Act.
Okay, good.
Yes. The Americans with Disabilities Act.
Because I know the
says-
blind can.
Yes. The ADA updated in 2011, and it took effect in 2012. And what it did is it not only labeled seeing eye dogs, hearing dogs for the deaf, it also included by name psychiatric service dogs. So
Okay.
we are now legally recognized in the federal law as well. But the ADA, with all of its good, was very vague and very general, and a lot of people were able to kind of use that. Yeah, they were able to use that gray and finagle a few fake dogs out in the world. So one of the things that Kniezek and us, we were trying to change that so that there would be less of these fake dogs showing up. It's not enough to be a well-mannered dog. They actually have to know tasks that mitigate a disability. That's what makes them a service dog.
Well, I know
So-
David wished he could have been here, but I'm sure he's busy, just
Oh
being
yes,
elected.
just being elected. Yes, he's
Got
got
to spread himself around. So
Yes, oh,
he's
yes.
going to have to clone himself a little
Yes,
bit. Like this
yes.
guy, same thing, all over the place.
He's got a lame duck session to prepare for.
Yeah, I know. They got spanked. So anyway, I really appreciate you coming out.
Thank you for
and
having me.
You're come back anytime. You're welcome back. And anything we can do to help you promote,
Yes,
we would
excellent.
appreciate sending it to us.
Yes, absolutely.
And people can go on your website, like I said, and make a donation or contact you.
We also have a Facebook page, and
Okay.
our dogs typically get more fans than our people do.
Just look for Stiggy's Dogs on Facebook.
Yep, Stiggy's Dogs on Facebook, and you can follow our teams in training, and you can actually see what we do in our training. We take pictures and video at every training session, so people can see and get an understanding of what we actually
And can Richard
do.
come out and me and him come out and visit you out there?
Absolutely.
That'd be cool.
Yeah.
Road trip.
Absolutely.
There you go. Well, we call it a field trip.
Field trip.
We've had folks from Wisconsin brag about stuff, California.
Yeah.
So finally, we have somebody where we can actually take the trip.
Exactly.
All right.
Yeah, San Diego we never made it to. Yeah, okay,
Yeah,
we
we're a little
will.
more local.
We will do that. We will do
Perfect.
that. Awesome. So you go out to you work out there then? I mean, you drive out there every day then?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. My family, we grew up here. My mom's still over by the high school.
Okay.
Yep. Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Awesome.
My sister taught at the high school for a while.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Cool.
Yep. We're True Guard, Fournier, last name Fournier.
Not,
Paula.
what about Ted? Ted Fournier?
No. There are two sets of Fourniers in Garden City, and we are not related.
Okay. I was
There was
wondering.
emphasis on not.
Yeah.
Well, growing up in Garden City, there were
Right.
two Gene Fourniers. One of them was male, one of them was female. The
Oh,
male was
okay.
my father,
Oh.
and people would call our house looking for the female Gene
Oh, you're kidding
and get our phone numbers. So
Oh, my
yes,
gosh.
growing up.
She sounds hideous. Well, you know.
Yeah, 'cause
No,
I think there's a Ted Fournier.
Right.
But there's
on Facebook.
there's Livonia Fourniers. I have to say, Fournier is the Smith of the French world. There's a million of us.
Okay,
None
okay,
of us are
I
really
got it.
related.
Well, hey, thanks once again for coming on. And
Thank you.
And anything else you want to add?
No, just thank you very much. Thank
Oh,
you
we
for having us.
appreciate
It's
it.
wonderful.
Yeah, we're looking forward to having you on here. So,
Excellent. Thanks.
anytime, like I said, you want to come back and bring a friend with you or whatever.
Yeah, next time I'll bring a dog team.
There
with
you
me.
go. I don't know how Zoe would act, but
Maybe on a road show trip.
There
yeah,
you
maybe
go.
on a road show. Exactly. Yeah, we will come out and see you guys, though.
Yes.
All right.
Yes, absolutely.
All right.
Thank
You take care.
Thank you.
Thank you
too.
very much. All right. Awesome, Richard.
Indeed, it was.
Yeah,
I especially like that I got to introduce the name Senator Kneecaps.
Yeah, I'm sure he appreciates that too.
I said it with fondness, and he knows it and loves it.
All right, before we get to Richard, just a quick reminder to mark your calendars for a couple of upcoming shows that we do have scheduled already. Next Thursday, November 13th, we're going to have Daniel Lodge here from the Garden City Library. He'll be talking about collaboration among community organizations working to promote one another, which I think is a great idea. So, after all, that's what it's all about. November 20th, Mr. Tim Fredenberg will be here. He is the owner of the garage training facility right here in Garden City. Quite a story with him and how he turned a garage into his business. He is second runner-up to Mr. Michigan. Like I said, when I looked at him, it was like looking in a mirror.
Yeah, I remember you saying that.
Do you remember?
I remember laughing like heck afterward.
Yeah, I know. And then jumping to December 18th, we're going to have a local author here. Should be interesting. His name is Wayne Stolt. He wrote a book called Crossing the Line. It's about immigration and our borders, so that should be interesting.
I've walked the line.
Yeah, you walked the line. Okay, Johnny. So we hope you'll make a note of these upcoming shows and be able to join us. Okay, Richard, let's first talk a little bit about the election, shall we?
How about it?
Democrats got spanked
Across the country.
across the country.
And
So now
especially
what?
here in Michigan. Well, you know, there was a lot of discussion leading up to the election that the state of Michigan overall had experienced requests of about 100,000 absentee ballots in excess of the most recent big election.
Right.
So some folks thought that that was new voters. Mm-hmm. But what it really ended up being was people who decided they didn't want to wait in line.
Yeah, yeah.
So they requested an absentee ballot. So the turnout, as compared to the last governor election in the state of Michigan, was less. Less people voted in 2014 than in 2010, which, you know, I think most people would agree that's disappointing.
Yeah.
But there's likely various factors for it. Bottom line is this, that the messages that were out there apparently resonated more for those on the Republican side of the aisle than those on the Democratic side of the aisle. There were there were, as far as voters, there were more people that believed in Governor Snyder's message than of Mr. Shower's message.
Yeah.
And, you know, on a tangent note, so to speak, the state legislature changed.
Yeah.
The Democrats lost 3 seats. So it's now 63-47 in favor of the Republican caucus. And in the state Senate, the Democrats lost 1 seat. So it's now exceptionally imbalanced. There
Yes,
will now
it
be
is.
11 Democrats in the state Senate beginning in January.
Whoa.
That is
Majority plus.
that is
Yeah.
more than it's more than 50 years since there's been that type of imbalance. You know, I guess I'd say at this point, we talked about lame duck in the past on this show, and I believe that lame duck will be largely one item. It'll be road funding.
Yeah.
And beyond that, there really is not what I'll term as a necessity to get anything rushed through, that has to be rushed through because of changes in the makeup of the legislature, the governor's seat. It's the same. It's still a majority, entirely controlled by the Republican Party, so there's not that urgency. The exceptions might be if some of the folks that are term limited say, I really, really want to get this done, so let's get it done before I leave.
Yeah.
Something like that may pop up, but I think voters can expect, residents can expect,
Well, speaking
that
of
this
the-
is road funding. That's it.
Yeah, speaking of that, 3 communities passed road fund millages.
Is that right? 3 throughout the
Three
state?
throughout.
Okay.
Now, is that a sign of things to come? Maybe communities are going to go that route instead of waiting for the state, or what?
You know, I'm not sure. Were they townships?
No, I think Farmington was one, I heard.
Village? Okay. You know, there's the funding mechanism treats townships a little bit differently than cities. So the fact that 3 of them passed it, it's probably more of a local road issue than it is an issue that involves funding that could be applied on a state or county road. So
Right.
that's not
But I thought
unheard
that
of.
was interesting, though.
It is interesting.
Yeah. Because
Yeah.
that may be, a way to go to get some of our secondary roads or something done here in the communities, or side streets.
Well, there's
But again, it's a tax.
it's a tax, and there are probably, less than 50% in some of these towns, but there are some people who would say, if a road is to be traveled on by everybody, then figure out how everybody can help pay for it, like through the gas tax or whatever.
Yeah.
And why should we assess ourselves? But obviously other folks said it's time.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, they're tired of waiting.
that is the issue that, without question, the governor is going to push for.
Yeah.
That
that's
is the
his number
issue
one.
that will receive the most consideration and debate. The other stuff that's on there that either has been discussed and not acted upon, it's just not as big as that.
No, that's
That's
huge.
the issue.
That is.
So I think lame duck, with that one exception, will likely be light in terms of the workload and boring. My opinion. Now, I was there
I would
when
probably
things
agree.
changed hands. So I was there in 2010, for example, when Governor Granholm was leaving office due to term limits, and Governor Snyder was coming in. And so there was some activity at that time.
Yeah.
In fact, I think I had like 19
Well, the
bills
transition,
passed
yeah.
during that time period.
Yeah.
All good stuff, though. Nothing controversial. But
Let's make a note of that.
yeah. But hey, so it is what it is. I think that those who won election, by and large, they probably just ran their campaigns better.
Yeah.
Better message. Maybe the demographic worked, better on, their behalf. But
Well, the big thing
It's done.
I'm hearing is Shower just wasn't a strong opponent. He just wasn't that strong.
I guess I'm not going to criticize that because I wouldn't want to be the opponent. I think that anybody running against an incumbent.
Yeah, that's
I mean,
tough.
I have run against incumbents,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
I've been successful in
Yeah.
doing so. It's hard.
Yeah, it's tough.
very hard.
Yeah.
And
the
that
money
race
he had,
is not
too. I
like
mean,
running
my
for city
God.
council.
Yeah.
So, I applaud anybody. Seriously, I do. I applaud anybody that sticks their
Yeah.
hand in the ring.
Oh,
It's
absolutely.
tough.
Yeah. But I mean, that's what they're saying,
Yeah.
A lot depends on what direction the economy is moving.
That's
at that
true
point in
too.
time.
Yep.
So Snyder's getting a lot of credit for the fact that we're in better shape than we were 4 years ago, whether he had anything remarkable to do with that or not. And so,
But he's taking
that
credit
makes,
for it.
That makes it more difficult for an incumbent
Well,
than it would be for somebody who is running against a sitting office holder. when the
Timing
economy's
is
going
everything.
down.
timing is
and
everything.
campaign
and-
reform, they have to do something about the money, man. It's just ridiculous. They need to level the playing field.
We would probably disagree with that.
Really?
Between you and I think there'd be disagreement. My feeling is that people should be able to do whatever they want with their money. And
Yeah.
on the other side of it, all money should be reported and available
But
for
corporations, they shouldn't be able to buy their
public.
candidate
What
either.
I'm saying, though, is that there are mechanisms today that allow folks to contribute money to influence election but not be identified.
Yeah.
That's the bigger issue to me.
Right. Yeah, that is.
How much
That's-
money gets poured
Yeah, I
into
will
it.
agree. We'll agree there.
So,
Yeah.
I mean, I don't own a news station, so I don't care how many commercials are played or not. But
We don't play commercials here.
you know what I mean.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
So I'm more interested in disclosure than I am in limiting finance.
Yeah, disclosure is big too. Okay.
But that's just me.
And finally, the Wolf proposals failed.
No, they didn't.
Yeah, they did. They went down. No. both of them.
Yeah.
Oh, I see what you mean.
It was a no.
I thought you meant. I was
Yeah.
thinking the
Oh,
opposite.
I know
of
what
that.
you meant, yeah.
So what happened with that though is pretty interesting. So
Yeah.
the electorate said no to both of those.
Yes.
But
Correct.
the reality is it doesn't matter.
No.
The reality
right.
is the public acts that were referenced have been invalidated by the legislature. So today, I think it's Leslie Fritz, but it may not be. There's a Humane Society bigwheel that commented just today that a lawsuit will be initiated so that the I want to say MDNR, but that's not it. The entity that controls this now cannot go against the will of the electorate.
Okay.
But, this is going to be tied up for a while. We'll see what happens.
Yeah, well, yeah.
But it's a great example of how the legislature really can always have the upper hand. Citizens, through an initiative, went out and gathered signatures to get this on the ballot.
But
And
so
then all they do-
confusing.
And
Oh, my
the
God.
legislator emasculated it.
I mean,
That is exactly what
we
happened.
tried deciphering it last week with David and you, and I mean, it was like,
Yeah.
are you kidding me?
So the bottom line, though, is that although the electorate voted no on both proposals, that does not mean
Yeah,
does not
you're
mean
right.
that there won't be a wolf hunt. That's
Yeah.
what I meant when you said
Yeah,
earlier.
you're
about
right.
that.
You're
so,
right. Yeah.
to clarify.
Donna's still here. Did you want to comment on those proposals? I know you were shaking your head over
Yeah,
it.
that one was my big one.
Yeah.
I have to say that
Yeah,
one was
me
my
too.
big one. It's one of those things. I absolutely believe that management in nature does need to take place, but there's a time and place for it, and I don't believe that at this point anything is showing that wolves need management in this state.
Well, that's what I was just going to say, because David had mentioned this was basically for the people in the Upper Peninsula,
But
and
this-
I don't know if they're running rampant up there. Are they?
Well,
Wolves?
there are. We do.
Are they?
We do have a pretty good sized pack up there.
Really?
Well,
But
it's less than 100 in the entire state, though.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Exactly.
that's what
We
I'm
are
saying.
we are
67
not
or
at a
something like
point.
that. Yeah.
Even out in Montana, one of the biggest packs out there is still within the 50 to 60 dog
Really?
range or canine range. So
Wow.
you're not even to say that we have in the entire state. This is not a species that needs management.
Mm-hmm.
You want to talk about a species that needs management, you need to talk about the coyotes.
Mm-hmm.
The coyotes need management. When you're down in South Lyon or in I was
that's true.
downriver
You're right.
at a cemetery, and they were just
Really?
standing in the middle of the cemetery.
Wow.
And this is right next to a highway. There's population. If any species in this state needs management,
Coyote.
and that's really the important thing. That's how I felt about this. This is not something that we needed to get involved with yet.
It's
No.
a political issue.
We
It is.
That's really what it was.
And
It
we
really
fought
is.
hard to bring them back into the state because they do so well for the environment.
Yeah.
They're a species that thins the sick and dying that
Yeah.
hunters don't want. Well, then you end up with disease because the sick and dying are still there. Well, a wolf is going to clean that up. They're going to go after that sick and dying. That was always my big thing. That
And then the stories, like you said, they were telling of the
Well, they were
fables or
fabricated.
Oh,
fabricated. Yeah, even the one
And there were criminal
politician.
prosecutions.
Yes,
yes,
exactly.
And there was
Successful
Yeah.
prosecutions.
There was some out in Montana because they do. If a rancher catches a wolf on their property, they can kill them.
Right.
And right after they enacted that, there was a rancher who went out there, claimed that a wolf was on his property, and the investigators found drag marks. The wolf was killed off-site and dragged back to the property.
Oh,
So
really?
there's a part of it that when this was going on, that was my fear, is the same thing that was
Yeah.
happening out there was going to start to happen
Yeah,
here. And it's
yeah.
unnecessary right now. It's just not. We
Yeah.
don't need it yet.
Right.
So stay tuned is really, the
Basically,
message.
that's it. Yeah, more to come. All right. Well, moving on. Let's get to the task force. I know you were appointed to that by Snyder, and you had
Governor
him-
Snyder.
Governor Snyder. Okay. Yeah. Whatever.
Snyder. Don't start calling him Rick either.
Ricky appointed you.
Yeah, so a week ago today,
Yeah.
I traveled to Lansing for one of our meetings, and this meeting is, as we've talked about in the past, that it is comprised of people that have various expertise in certain areas. The Michigan State Police oversees or helps to facilitate, and this last meeting was held also in Lansing, but not at the State Police building, but it was held at the Michigan Retailers Association. And the retailers obviously, these folks are very interested in this.
Oh, yeah.
Amongst the things that we talked about,
And the
were-
consumer should be too.
well, we all pay for it.
Exactly.
And look, just to be clear, all shoplifting is bad.
Yeah.
Okay, but this isn't shoplifting per se. This is people stealing a truckload of material to resell.
cartels.
Yeah, and it is big
It
big
is.
money.
It's huge.
So, in terms of money or value, we asked for something to be put together, and they did.
Yeah, it's nice.
So the average organized retail fraud prosecution case is worth $2.8 million. Now you think about that.
That's average?
That's average.
Oh, my
The
gosh.
average ORC case value, $2.8 million. Now,
That's a big
last
deal.
year in the state of Michigan, no, I take that back because our figures they're actually a year and a half behind. 2012, Michigan retailers lost $87.1 million through organized retail fraud. This is, again, this is the big stuff. This is not the kid stealing the candy bar.
Yeah, right. This is
So,
major crime.
you're talking
I mean,
some serious
organized, well organized.
Throughout our country, Detroit is number 10 in terms of areas or communities that are most impacted by this crime, number 10. And number 1 is Los Angeles. And, I mean, it's something that affects 9 out of 10 retailers. Some would say it's probably really 10 out of 10. But in an organized retail fraud sense, 9 out of 10. So
Wow.
you have near us, you have Target, you have Kohl's, you have Myers,
All your big
you have
stores.
Kroger, you have Kmart.
Lowe's.
Get them all into one buggy, and 9 out of 10 of them are affected. And again, the average case
huge.
value, $2.8 million.
That's incredible.
Yeah.
That is.
So
And
there's not enough prosecution right now. The state of Michigan was later than some other large communities or large areas, regional areas, to get in on this. But one of the things that's also notable is that the states that have enacted organized retail crime laws, Michigan did theirs in, I believe it was 2013 is when it became enacted. 33% of the states saw a reduction, not an elimination, but a reduction. And part of the reason is that criminals talk and they transport. And so, whereas Chicago is very big, let's see on the list here, Chicago's number 3.
yeah.
They may
yeah,
move to
makes sense.
Cincinnati because Chicago, for example,
Yeah.
they're cracking down and the penalties are
Yeah, they
swift
just
and
move around.
severe.
Right.
So what it does, though, is if you are a part of this consortium that's being developed nationwide, the word gets out there. And really what it boils down to at this point is resource or lack of it, too, because there are emboldened criminals out there. And the most prevalent type of this crime that occurs where people actually see it, I'm not talking about where they steal a semi-truck, but where it actually occurs in a retail facility,
Yeah.
is people will just put it in a cart and walk out with it.
Yeah. Yeah.
They don't try to hide
true.
it.
No.
They don't put it under their coat,
Yeah.
walk around for 10 minutes and buy a comb and
Very nonchalant.
and some licorice.
Yeah.
They just load a cart up and they just walk it out to their car.
That's crazy.
And there are stores whose policies address that in different ways.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
the criminals soon find out.
Gets
And
around.
So, like right now, one of the things that one of the major retailers is facing is pressure from manufacturers. And the example that I'll use is iPads. The iPad, I'm going to say the average only because it was told to me like this. The average iPad that has all of the bells and whistles and this, that, and the other that might be in a glass case is between $800 and $900.
Okay.
And what folks will do, they'll go up to the case, break it, and just grab an armful of iPads and leave.
You're kidding.
And so these stores in our area,
Smash and grab.
around here, what they're trying to do is say, take this slip of paper, go pay for it,
Okay.
and then someone will bring it to you.
That's kind of like Toys R Us, I think, does that.
But
on a lot of
customers
their
are
stuff.
complaining. Customers
And
are
Costco.
complaining, and they say, I don't want to wait. I don't want to wait. So retailers are concerned. We don't want to lose the customer.
Yeah, I can see.
And bigger than that, Apple is saying, you're not doing that. Our stuff, if you sell it, is on display.
Oh, yeah.
We
And
want
they got
people
the
to
big
see
bucks.
our product.
Yeah, they'll.
So if you want to sell it, you got to display it.
Wow. So they're caught
Interesting
between a
mix
rock and
of-
a.
Yeah, I mean, it's just very, very difficult.
Very.
So we talked about a number of things that we're doing, that we plan to do.
But the consumer needs to understand that those losses are on our backs. Eventually, that's all on our backs.
Yeah, they're very, very significant.
Yeah.
So one of the things that we're developing is a database that can be utilized at different levels of authority by law enforcement and the retailers. And this database will allow for real-time information.
Okay,
Here's what
cool.
just happened. Here's who
That's
is
good.
involved. Here is who was just arrested. Here's their companions, this, that, and the other. And it's hoped that with all of this reference information,
Maybe see some patterns and stuff.
that, well, you will be able to identify that, but it's
Yeah.
also that you'll be able to react swiftly
Right.
to a lot of this stuff.
Yeah.
And organized retail crime is new for some police departments because they don't associate stealing a case of iPads with organized retail fraud. They just say, well, somebody stole a case of iPads. But what happens
Just
is
your common shoplifter.
the thief steals that case of iPads, takes them to a person or a shady operator somewhere, and where they get 10 cents on the dollar for them.
Right.
So that case of iPads is worth, $300 to them, when in actuality it's worth more like
hell of a lot more.
$3,500 or whatever.
Yeah. Wow.
So we're working.
So how are they going to correct this? How do you infiltrate that, I mean, there's just not the manpower either, right? It's just not there. I mean, they're trying, but
Yeah, they are trying.
it's tough.
It is tough. And
Lot
as quickly
undercover.
as law enforcement, I'll call it, sets a trap, these folks learn it and spread the word through the grapevine.
That's it.
And you can't be everywhere. And you can't focus all your resources over here for great lengths of time with hopes that something may happen and all of a sudden it happened over here.
Yeah.
So it's
a real tough crime, man, to solve.
is.
Wow.
It is. And
Big deal.
part of what we're doing is this is a different classification of crime. So it's not shoplifting. Organized retail fraud carries significant penalties. And, in a desperate economy, people do desperate things.
Yeah,
And
it's true.
those who take advantage of that, the proprietors who say, you bring me a case of Red Bull and I'll give you $10, they need to be prosecuted.
Absolutely.
And that's, it's a multi-pronged
Yeah.
attack. You got to get it from all sides.
Yeah, you really do. Wow. Yeah, that's pretty huge. Pretty huge. So when's your next meeting?
We are meeting next month. We're
Okay,
meeting in
once a month
December.
or?
We meet
Quarterly?
We meet quarterly plus.
Okay.
Not quite every other month, but and one of the things that I'm doing, because we have on not quite half of these meetings. We've met in alternate locations. I haven't asked Mayor Wild yet, but one of the things I'm going to do is host one in our new city hall.
Oh, are you?
And so I told folks,
Awesome.
to be advised at one of our meetings in 2015, I'm going to host it and show off our community, show off our city hall.
Yeah.
And, it's a public meeting, so we'll provide notice.
Yeah, let me know.
One of
I
the
wanna
things
go.
that's interesting about this is that some things that are said are with the knowledge that there's no public present. But they
Right.
are public meetings, and we want people to know
They
we're doing
need to
this
know.
stuff.
They need to know.
Yes, we want people to spread the word.
I mean, it's going to be coming out of their
Yeah.
pocket eventually if they don't correct this somehow. It's huge.
Yep.
Big bucks. What else you got?
During our meeting at the county today,
Yeah, you were down there all day.
I was down there
Busy.
a long time today. One of the things that during our regular agenda received the most consideration was that the state of Michigan in 2012 changed laws involving mental health. And what they did, without my support, I voted no against it in Lansing. But one of the things they did is they required Wayne County to have an independent mental health agency. Wayne County was viewed as like one of the premier across the country, really, administrators over mental health issues in a county. We really did a good job. Some folks would say one of the few things that were really, really exceptional. But the state of Michigan didn't like that. So the state of Michigan changed it. With the development of this independent authority comes a mental health board. And one of the things that happened today was that we were to vote on the establishment of the board to allow them to begin to do their work. And whereas Wayne County had 100% control before, this new makeup, it evolved into a situation where they agreed to allow Wayne County to have one member of the board, one of 12. So some of us squawked. Then they doubled it. Well, we'll give you twice as many. We'll give you 2. And so there was still some concern over that. Jeez. And I didn't learn until today. And when I did, I exposed it, and I was pretty ticked off. But what I learned today is that they came to us today, during our meeting actually, and revealed that today you get 2 out of 12, and what we want to do is say we'll give you 4. So I'm thinking to myself, well, that's significant progress, and I think it would sway me to be considerate of the request that's being made. And right before the vote was about to occur, one of our staff people came up to me and said, privately in my ear, you get 4, but they made their board 14.
Oh, you're kidding.
So I called him out.
Wow.
The guy that was at the lectern representing their interest. I said, this is the most disingenuous thing that's happened in a while. And you have effectively diluted the 2 votes that we previously had. 2 of 12 is now 4 of 14. That is disrespectful.
Yeah.
And I encourage my colleagues to vote no or to postpone. And so by a vote of, with 2 absent, I believe the final vote was 10-3 to turn it down.
Oh.
So
okay.
they got to go back to the drawing board.
Okay.
And trust me,
those sneaky son
the
of guns.
next time they come back, I am going to be asking for that entire document, and I'm going to fly spec it word for word, because we didn't have access to it at the meeting today. We had to go on what they told us as far as that one change.
Yeah.
That was very irritating.
That's a top-notch staffer you had there.
Yeah. No, I agree. Well, as our legal
That's
counsel.
awesome.
So, yeah. And I appreciated being the one that was able to out them on it.
Yeah.
We also introduced a number of ordinance revisions that will receive first reading. One of them is mine, procurement ordinance revision. And essentially what it says is if the county's going to buy anything for $50,000 or more, it has to come to us. Right now, they're able to spend millions and millions and millions of dollars without coming to the commission. I think that's crazy.
You got to reel that in.
They bought a $5.2 million piece of software without us knowing about it. And after a year and a half, it's not functional. And so my revision addresses that and more. And there's a few other things.
Wow.
But so my hope is we get it done this year, but if not, it'll get done next year early.
And that one proposal on the ballot for the county.
Oh, the retirement proposal.
Yeah,
failed.
that passed, right?
It failed.
It did?
Failed, yeah.
Big time.
You're kidding.
It went down in big, huge flames.
Wow.
I think what it was, if I were
Misinterpreted or what?
I think that it likely was viewed as, okay, now you're trying to screw with pensions.
Yeah, when you
And folks have
when
had
you
enough of
mention
that.
that word, that's true.
So it needs to be
Back to the drawing board.
It needs to be made brief and clear.
Yeah.
That what the chair wants to do is delegate to a skilled person his vote on the pension board.
Yeah, because I didn't know that failed.
So that's about it. I mean, it was a long day and there was a lot more, but that's all I'll talk about today.
Nothing more on the jail?
No, in fact, interestingly, our meeting regarding the jail today was postponed. We are meeting again next Wednesday, allegedly on the jail, but I'm not sure that that's going to happen.
Wow. All right. Well, Mike, what do you got? Anything? What do you want to mention?
A little bit. City Council meets Monday night,
Yep.
7 o'clock. And I believe the Planning Commission met tonight to go over the McDonald's request.
Yes, they did.
and I don't know, of course, how that came out because I'm here, but
Yeah, I don't know.
apparently there was significant changes in what McDonald's was proposing to make it much more in line with what we have in the area and what the city would like to have.
Mm-hmm.
All the charter amendments passed,
Mm-hmm.
which they should have,
I
because
saw
they were
that.
bookkeeping things that
Yeah, house
made
cleaning.
things more efficient, made them more up to date, and corresponded to changes in the laws that have taken place since
Mm-hmm.
the charter was first implemented. And the school board sinking millage passed.
Yeah, that passed.
Which is a big deal for them because
Yeah.
they've
Well,
got some major.
How close was that? Very close or no?
No,
Okay.
61% or something like that.
Okay. So that went, that passed fairly
61
easy.
Yeah, 61 to 38.
Yeah. Well, yeah, you got to have
Not
money
as
to
good as
maintain
Richards
this.
win, but still.
No.
I'm sorry, could you repeat that? Hey, I forgot to say, because we talked about everyone else's election, I really am appreciative of the support of the electorate. Consider myself to be very privileged.
Yeah, you
and,
should be.
I very much enjoy what I'm doing on behalf of the folks here in town and the other two towns I have, and
Well, we tease you, but we
I'm
love
lucky.
you, man.
I'm lucky.
Well,
Yeah.
Obviously, people respect the job you're doing.
Yeah.
When you don't have any opponents in the primary or the general election, that says something about you.
Yeah, that's,
That, hey, this is a
pretty
pretty
big.
good guy. We don't think we got a chance of beating him anyway, so why even bother?
yeah. Yeah.
You know, that's
Yeah.
kind of you to say, and I'll not jinx myself.
All right. What else?
That's all I had.
That's all you got?
Yeah.
That's it?
I have one more before you get into your
All right.
stuff.
What do you got?
Make a senior smile.
Big day Saturday.
It is. It's Saturday.
And the weather
And-
report doesn't sound good.
Weather report doesn't sound good. And
No.
what I'll say, thank you. What I'll say is that this year,
Get more volunteers.
it is so typical of this community.
Yeah,
The
you need
more I
5 more
get-
homes?
The more I get to learn about it, the more that I find that folks they step up hugely.
Yeah.
And so I should have wrote this down, so I'm kind of going off memory. Our sponsors include Lowe's in a big way,
Yeah, big.
AT&T in a big way, Mary Ribeiro and Seniors Helping Seniors in a big way. Councilwoman Lisa Hicks Clayton made a donation to this event.
Okay.
The Community First Foundation made a very sizable donation to the event. Busy's Pizza has given us a great deal on our lunch items. Jay Blankhorn in my office is doing more work than could be expected.
Oh.
Seriously.
Yeah, he does.
And I know at this time I may be leaving somebody out, but I promise not to do that on Saturday when I, as quickly as I can, acknowledge folks. But Saturday,
The Garden
8
City
o'clock,
Garden Club?
Garden City Garden Club.
Oh,
Thank
God,
you for
don't
mentioning-
forget them.
No, that's why you're here. That's why you're in your office.
Hey, and their calendars are available, folks.
Yeah. So, yeah, and I'm sure there's one or two others that I've left out.
Yeah, but you'll know 'em. You'll get
but
'em
there
all.
are a lot of people that are contributing to this, and as of today, there's one more. Wayne Ford Civic League and Mr. Vic Barra.
Oh, yeah.
So, in the 18th District Court
Yeah.
in Westland.
Yeah.
So, as of today, we have about 35 addresses that have been verified. I am seeking a few more. I posted on Facebook, but I need to know by 10 a.m. tomorrow.
Yeah. So, folks,
I
if you
also
have a house,
have-
you better call.
Now, hold on a second. As of now, I have 170 volunteers.
Are you
I'm going
kidding?
to run out of shirts.
That's huge.
I'm going to run out of shirts. Seriously, I don't have enough.
Well, I make sure I get one, though.
Bring yours from last year
2X.
for that one.
2X.
Yeah, you wear that one. So that is like really, really
That
awesome.
is huge.
It's more than that room can hold, which I think is very cool. But we have had a few folks fall off. In fact, as recently as 10 minutes ago. via
Volunteers or
text.
homes?
Volunteers.
Okay. Because
It's
of the
going to
weather,
rain,
probably,
so
too.
I don't want to be there.
Yep, I figured that would happen.
But here's the deal. We're going to have, I'm going to say our high water mark, we may have 40 homes. Let's say we do.
Okay.
There's going to be 5 people minimum per home.
Per home. Yeah.
This is going to take like 45 minutes to
Yeah.
get done.
Yeah, say you have 140 volunteers. You know, 150, 140.
This is going to take 45 minutes to an hour, so you get wet. Big deal.
Right.
There's nobody I know made of sugar around this joint. So
Wait a minute, I'm pretty sweet, dude.
I know. So I have
Trust me here.
I do have.
You will not dissolve.
Well, I do have I bought every available rain poncho that I could find in this area.
Did you?
But I don't have enough.
Hey, they can make a plastic garbage bag, just cut the head and arms
Yeah.
out, right?
So,
Some people have their own ponchos.
exactly.
Don't have
Yeah.
to require you to bring.
Well, but we do have some. We're going to feed everybody.
Well, we
We're
are
gonna give
actually
them
the
their assignment,
photographer and stuff, so we're good.
and we're going to lunch them with pizza. You know, at the
Gonna
end
blind
of
them
it.
with footwork, man.
There you go. So, my plea to anybody who might hear this is, don't let a little bit of cold and wet get
Yeah.
in the way.
Come on, it's for a good cause.
Some of these people are probably hunters anyway. They go out in that nasty
Exactly.
weather later in the month and try
Exactly.
to kill animals. So,
Yeah.
you know,
Jesus.
just try it. And we don't want
An
anybody.
example.
We don't want anybody. Yeah, there you go. We don't want anybody to get sick or hurt or anything like that. I'm not
No.
suggesting that. But one of the benefits that we have too is that I'm pledging that these houses are going to get done.
Mm-hmm.
So whether it's me and a couple of people the next day finishing them, we will get these houses done.
Yeah,
If you're
they'll-
on the list, you're getting your yard done.
Right.
And I really don't want to do it by myself.
No. Well, I know Vic's
So-
pretty committed, and he's got
Yeah.
some help.
but
so
but it is really, really impressive. I mean, if you look at this flyer,
Yeah.
I'm going to guess that actually pictured in this
Yeah,
flyer,
look at that picture.
There
I mean-
might be about 80 people in here, something like that. That wasn't
Yeah.
everybody when we took this
right,
picture.
right.
So last year, I think, what did we say? We had 130 or something like that volunteers. But when I was on my way here from my Inkster event, you know, basically 7:45, I did receive a voicemail message through the office number of a person who said, I'm volunteering and I'm bringing 3 people with me. Here's their names. Here's their telephone numbers.
jeez.
So people are still.
Yeah, they're stepping up. Yeah.
Yeah. So be there or be entirely square.
Yeah, exactly.
And let's have a good time.
But it's a good time. It is. And they're going to be done by noon, 1 o'clock. Really.
No, it'll be way earlier than that.
Or earlier than that
We're,
because
we're
of
telling Paul. I changed it today.
well,
We're
1
telling
o'clock
Paul
I
to
thought
bring-
was lunch.
No, lunch is noon.
Oh, noon
But I
now.
told him today, start bringing them at 11:30.
Oh,
We're gonna have
really?
people. They're gonna be done early. We
Yeah,
have
it could
that
be.
many volunteers.
Yeah.
What time, if I'm helping with the setup and breakfast and kickoff, what time do you want me there?
Well, we're going to be there by
We're going to
4 to
be
8.
there. We're going to start getting our stuff in. No, it starts at 8. We're
Yeah.
going to be there at like 7.
Okay.
Yeah, we'll be there by 7:30 or so.
You'll be
Cheryl
there
and I.
by 7:15.
Not Cheryl.
Or 05.
Yeah, okay.
7:05.
Cheryl, did you hear that? Good luck
So
with
yeah,
that.
anybody that wishes to help volunteer with setup, the earlier you can get there, the better. We're going to try to be there by 7.
Yeah, you're going to have a lot of volunteers to help set up. And then Cheryl and I are doing pictures and taking
Yeah.
water and bags and stuff around. So
Yeah, we
Like
you know,
last year.
The list is lengthy in terms of things that we
We'll
have
keep
to
'em-
get and
we'll
bring
keep 'em
there.
happy.
So we'll be working
we'll be in good shape.
all night and day.
Yeah. But I hate to hear you're going to run out of shirts, man.
Yeah, I know because
How many did you order? You only ordered 100?
no, I've probably
Couple hundred,
total.
I-
I've got about 160. I'm guessing.
That's going to be close.
No, it's not going to be close because there's different sizes. There are some
Oh,
folks
that's
who are not
true.
going to
Yeah,
get a shirt.
yeah, that's true. You should have just got all one size. 2X for everybody, man.
Yeah,
Screw it.
okay.
Yeah, our size.
Right.
Let the smaller,
Hey, they can
smaller people swim.
use them as a nightie later.
My thinking last year was just that.
What?
I ordered like nearly all extra large
Yeah.
and 2X and 5X or
Right,
whatever.
right.
And I ordered like 5 smalls and 10 mediums. But what I found out is we have a lot of young volunteers,
Yeah, yeah, a lot of
and they want stuff that fits.
Yeah. Well, hey, it's not a fashion show. They
Well,
wanna go
it
to a
actually,
fashion show,
it
go to
actually
Troy.
kind of is. It actually kind of is. Look at that right there. Tell me again, it's not a fashion
Oh, yeah,
show.
we are pretty good looking there.
Yeah, so
Pretty good looking group.
you may or may not get a shirt. You will get a breakfast, and you will get a lunch.
Yeah. And you will feel good about yourself afterwards.
Yeah.
Trust me. So don't let a little cold weather
Right.
and
So get there early for a shirt.
dampness. Yeah. Exactly. Mike, if I'm not there, get me one.
Yeah. You said medium, right?
No. I couldn't
All
get my
right.
head in that.
Next.
All right. So let's move on here. Don't forget, we're still looking for guests to have on the show, so if you're interested in coming on, sharing your story, or maybe you own a business or you provide a service you'd like to share with the surrounding communities, then now is the time to contact us so we can get you scheduled at gcommunitychat@gmail.com, or find us on Facebook at facebook.com/gcchat.
Don't you have a meeting tomorrow for the
Yep, I am going to talk about that here shortly.
Alliance?
Yep. Let's talk about that now. Tomorrow morning at 9 a.m. at the Straight Farmhouse, we are having our GC Business Alliance meeting. It's our fourth one, and we met with the Small Business Association. We're going to be moving forward with the 501c3. Senator-elect David Kniesek is going to help us with that, fill it out. Yeah, kneecaps. Yeah, he'll be doing that. And we have a lot to go over, so that's going to be at the Straight Farmhouse, 9 a.m., and that's located on Merriman Road, just north of Ford Road. And what else did I want to mention? Oh, check out our website at GardenCityBusinessAlliance.org or GCBiz48135.org. We also have a new online printable coupon page that is now active for you to use and support. Garden City Business Alliance's next meeting, like I said, is going to be November 7th at the Straight Farmhouse. It's in the Grand Parlor at 6221 Merriman Road. All businesses are welcome. We ask that you bring plenty of ideas and business cards. Should be a great time. Now, December 12th is going to be our meeting after that. That'll be at the farmhouse, too. That's going to be a 6 p.m. kind of a holiday meeting, meet and greet type deal. So more details on that will follow. If the time or venue changes, we'll let you know. You can contact us through the website or just show up, like I said, at a November meeting. Remember, we will upload this show when it's available on our Facebook page at facebook.com/gcchat. And don't forget to check out our YouTube channel at youtube.com/communitychatshow. Let's see. I mentioned you saw that, right? You're going to that, right? The Veterans thing, yep. Troy wanted me to mention that they're going to be having their Michigan Veterans Affairs Agency Detroit Veterans Expo. It's a 2-day event. The expo November 7th, 11 a.m. to 8 p.m., and the expo and job fair will be November 8th, 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. It's going to be held at Cobo Center down on 1 Washington Boulevard in Detroit. Free parking on Cobo roof, free entry. They're going to have all kinds of, you can get your DD-214 printed right there on site. I think he said they're going to have something like 90 vendors at least there.
Wow.
90 service organizations. So
nice.
If you're a veteran, your families, come on out there. It's going to be a good time. Also, did you happen to see where they're going to have that Hart Plaza flag unveil? They're going to finally put the flags down there in Hart Plaza. They've been 13 years without American flags down there at Hart Plaza. The poles have gone to hell. So this guy who owns this business decided to make a donation along with Ford UAW, and it's on November 8th at 3:30 p.m. On Jefferson there, right at Hart Plaza, and they're going to have 24 poles and flags on them, and all 5 branches of the military are going to be flown too, so that's going to be cool. So you might want to get out there and do that. Also, Garden City Goodfellows, No Child Without a Christmas paper sales Wednesday, November 26th, Friday, November 28th, Saturday, November 29th. If you need the Goodfellows to help or would like to volunteer, please call 734-679-7838. The deadline for assistance is November 9th, so that's like right around the corner. To donate, go to Garden City Goodfellows, P.O. Box 2407, Garden City 48135, or check them out on their website at gardencitygoodfellows.org. Great organization. Like that. November 8th, Saturday, 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. They'll be able to go and volunteer and rake leaves and then go to this. It's the American Legion Auxiliary Unit 396 is having a fall craft bake sale and vendor show. 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. November 8th at the Hosanna Tabor Lutheran Church, 9600 Laverne in Redford Township. That's north of West Chicago, south of Plymouth Road. Food is available. Admission's only $1. Can't beat that. And then once again, they're having another town hall meeting. This is part 2 at the Garden City First United Methodist Church, 6443 Merriman Road. That's between Warren and Ford. For more information, you can call 734-421-8628. Tuesday, November 11th.
That's the bullying?
Yeah, that's the bullying. Bullying, a problem waiting to be solved, part 2. They're going to have some guest speakers there and counselors and talk about this. It's a shame. I mean, it still exists, bullying today in school. And, you know, there's adult bullying, too. And then now with Facebook and that, it's even worse. So if you want to go over and talk about it, learn about it, Tuesday, November 11th, 6 p.m. A light dinner will be provided before the meeting beginning at 6 p.m. in the church fellowship hall. So you can check that out. Don't forget the Santaland Parade. Man, that's right around the corner, too, isn't it?
Yes, it is.
Oh, boy.
29th, Saturday after Thanksgiving?
Yep, the 29th, beginning at 10 a.m. Parade will begin at Garden City High School, travel south on Middle Belt, turn east on Ford, and conclude at Central Street.
The parade is longer than the route.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, but that's very cool.
It is a great parade.
The first entries are already at the end before the last ones actually get out there.
You know, for the
I think
size
like
of
3 or 4 bands this year.
for the size of this community, they put on one heck of a parade. They really
That
do.
was always my favorite thing growing
Yeah.
up. And years when I was a teenager, I was in it as a baton twirler when I was a child.
Oh,
But then
okay.
as a teenager, I went back and I did clown and handed out candy.
Now you should
That's
walk
always
it
been
and
one of
bring
my
your
favorite-
dogs. Yeah.
Yeah, that has always been
That would
one
be
of
awesome.
my favorites.
Yeah, we'll have to get Stiggy's in there next time.
Yes.
Kiwanis are passing out beads.
Kiwanis is?
That's not what?
Beads. Necklaces.
Beads.
Got
Beads.
You don't have to do anything special to get them, do you?
I was going to ask that. I was trying to figure out how do I put that.
You have to be in short pants.
Yeah, okay. Oh, that's funny. Well, I think I covered quite a few here. I can't think of anything else. Richard, you got anything else?
No, I'm ready to be done.
Mike, you got anything done?
Long
Anything?
day.
No,
This we'll get to next time.
we do have the Christmas party coming up with Kiwanis and Rotarians. And
Oh, yeah,
in
Christmas
December
party. Yeah, yeah.
for the,
How was luncheon today? Did you go?
yeah, we had about 26.
Okay, that's good.
And it was just one of Amatea's average meals, roasted chicken.
Was it really?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, my God, I would miss it.
I don't like you.
I would have missed that one.
And Faye works now on Thursdays, so I bought one to take home.
So you
I
got her.
had roasted chicken for lunch and roasted chicken for dinner.
Oh, I'm
Yeah,
jealous.
I had licorice for lunch and dinner.
Yeah, I see
And
that.
both of them occurred within
My
the past
whole-
hour.
Well, hey, this was a fun night. Donna, thanks for sticking around. Really appreciated it.
Great show.
We'll see if we can get you some donations for sure.
Yes.
And Richard and I are going to come out there and do a road trip. We're going to check it out. I want to see it, how it goes. And you're in the hood, so maybe we'll see each other.
Yes, you come down when we actually plan it, when we have good training day going on. So.
Will you let me know?
Yeah.
Email me.
Yep. I
Email
have
me.
a list of schedule. You can come down and
And
check
I'm going
it
to
out.
join the newsletter, too.
You're
Excellent.
going to get the newsletter.
Yes.
Yeah, I will do that, and then I can start promoting some stuff for
Yes,
you. And
thank you.
geez, who knows? Maybe we can do a 24-hour show or something for them, raise some money, or come up with something.
Oh, they didn't like that. They're like, who's doing what?
We'll do a marathon. It's for a good cause, Richard.
I agree.
I have a good cause from 1 a.m. to 7 a.m. every day. And it doesn't involve a marathon.
Marathon sleeping.
Oh, that's funny.
All right. Say
All right, well, I think we're ready to call this a podcast.
Podcast.
We have a good time. I want to thank everyone that participated in tonight's show. A special thanks to Donna Fournier for from Stiggy's Dogs. Remember, if you would like to donate or get involved with Stiggy's, you can go to their website at stiggysdogs.org, and all the information is right there. Also, thanks to my co-hosts, Richard and Tom. Great job as always.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Richard has left the building. And Joy and Holly, all the way from Wisconsin, thank you for your gardening tips. And thanks to everyone who hung out in the chat room with us. We really appreciate your support every week. Remember, for the latest weather, go to doppertomsweather.com. Also, if you have a show idea or a guest you'd like us to try and get on, don't forget to email us at gccommunitychat@gmail.com, and we'll do our best to provide that. Don't forget to join our mailing list, too, at the same email address. So we hope you all enjoyed tonight's show. Remember, the success of a community depends on the community, so please support your local businesses. And also, if you see something, say something. Look out for one another out there. So on behalf of Richard and Tom, this is Kerry. Thanks for listening, and we will be right back here next week with our guest, Daniel Lodge, on TalkShoe.com, show ID 82757. Good night, and take care.
Good night.